We don't need a
This is show 96.
96.
Start your stopwatch.
Brought to you by the letter S and the number T.
I do need a pencil.
Okay.
Oh, I look. My glasses on. 2 pairs.
And the number pi.
3.14.
159.
159. That's probably the code of your bank. I
1,
love
2,
this
3,
show.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Amazing. I'm so glad to be
12.
back in the basement. All right, guys. Somebody give us a countdown and let's have fun because you know what? This is getting easier and easier to do.
And 3, 2, 1. Hi, guys. It's November 16th. These guys are all back from Milwaukee, and I had to stay here, but they got a lot of cool stuff to show you. So this is 96, and we're going to start it right now.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. Additional support is provided by Athearn Trains. Check out all their new monthly announcements at athearn.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Cowcatcher Magazine, all about the community of model railroading and rail enthusiasts. Check out their website at www.cowcatchermagazine.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 96 for November 16th, 2019. We're coming right off of Trainfest, and boy, what a great show it was.
Yeah, it was great. Just showing up there and hotel room all laid out for us. Beautiful hospitality. Wonderful show. The biggest one I've ever been to. It was fantastic.
It was so well put on. Bonnie from Mercury, Ken Jaglinski, and all the other people that helped run that show did a fabulous job. If we can run the 2020 show here in St. Louis as well as they ran Trainfest, we will have a home run, and I look forward to that because we're like minor leagues. We're just getting started. So rock and roll, look what I got with me tonight. I've got Mike Budde sitting next to me in the same spot. We've got nobody on Skype. This is going to be an easy 20-minute recording tonight. I've got Sugarfire. I know we should go there tonight. Sugarfire, Joshua Barton.
What up, everybody?
I love it when you say that. And, of course, James Regier. And, James, I'm telling you what, you've become a very important part of the show. You and I were out last night doing a photo shoot using your Intermountain Santa Fe F units. James, tell us about the photo shoot we did last night.
Yeah, well, the full moon was a couple days ago, and, of course, we had that polar vortex, so it didn't quite work out to do on actual full moon, but a couple days later worked fine. So we were out there. I had a ABBA set of these wonderful Intermountain retrofit F units. They're actually Stewart Cato chassis underneath them.
Wow.
But done up with LEDs and the whole works. Yeah, and actually these units in particular, you know, when we've had locomotives on the show in the past, there have always been questions in the comments about why the lights are flickering. Well, if you look at 39C, and when we do the B-roll footage of it, you'll still see those lights flickering. And the reason for that flickering is pulse width modulation. So that the
wow,
the
you got
lights,
those words right. I read that.
Right. I eventually read the reader's comments.
They were hard on you at Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine, and you handled all the comments quite well.
Yeah, you know, I'm here to learn like anybody else. So that's you know. If I can get the vocabulary right, then I'll come around looking better the next time. Yeah, thanks for the corrections. Even I can learn. So it's the pulse width modulation that causes the flicker combined with the camera shutter speed, and it's out of phase. So that's why you see the flicker.
And that only happens with LEDs, not with regular.
That happens with LEDs, right? Because they're only on a certain part of every second. Right. Now this 40L F unit up here, this one right here, I just redid the lighting on it, and I put 10K ohm resistors on everything that's supposed to be constant dim. So instead of the standard 1K ohm resistors that are there to reduce voltage to something that the LED can take, I use 10K ohms, which not only reduces the voltage, but it also dims the LEDs. And it's a constant dim. It's not pulse width modulation, so the flicker just goes away.
It just goes away.
It's pretty dramatic. So we'll see that in B-roll later on.
Okay.
So rock and roll. Mike, buddy, tell me, brother. We were rocking out the house. When we got to Trainfest, we had to wait a couple of hours on, was it Friday night to get our dinner?
Yeah, Friday.
Right?
That's right. Yeah,
we went to the show a little bit early while everybody was setting up so you guys could just get a feel for the room here. You guys can see everybody walking in. There's Melissa. Here's your wife, James. There's myself, Campbell Rice. And we're just like trotting right on in up to our brand new stage that they had just built for us. And we rocked the house, Joshua, with that sound system that you set me up with to use for the show. We were jamming on music. I mean, Pink Floyd, you name it. We filled that 225,000 square foot space with room sound while everybody was setting up. And it was kind of fun. Your wife was dancing in the chair.
Yeah.
It was like getting a preview to a candy store, really. I mean, my goodness, all the great stuff there.
She didn't tell me to turn it down, which is kind of awesome. But then, you know what? We got into it. After we set up, they built us a stage, a beautiful stage to produce our show on. When I sat back and I looked at that stage, I felt the pressure because it's like, oh my goodness, this is for real.
That's right.
And the atmosphere and the setting was for real.
Right. Those were real rows of seats out there for people to sit in.
And they were real people sitting in them, too.
They were real people. I mean, there's nobody in the room tonight except for Stripe. We're shooting this show extremely early before even anybody got here tonight.
You know, there's a bunch of 187th people around, but we're at the train show.
Yeah, they're all in boxes and tackle boxes. They're safe. They're confined. But the fact is, I tell you what, again, I reiterate the fact that those guys run a very professional show for Trainfest. I'm very impressed. And if we can get the 2020 National in St. Louis, which is going to happen in July, just one block away from Sugar Fire, it's going to be a great show. And we will be broadcasting live from that show, so I look forward to doing that. Mike, tell me, brother, what have you brought tonight? You always love it. We love it when you bring your models with you, and tonight you got something.
Yeah, first I wanted to compliment the North Area Prototype Modelers.
Oh, some
that
beautiful
we
layout
went to.
space, beautiful trains.
That was a long, huge layout, one of the biggest I've ever seen.
And that Union Station, built out of Legos. The head house of their
I'm
Union.
running B-roll right now.
Yeah. When the guys told me it was, we got a station that's built out of Legos, I'm thinking, well, what kind of club is this now? You know?
Right.
But, man, it looked really realistic.
They chose the right bricks that it looked just like masonry.
Right.
And the interior and the train shed. And I don't want to show any more of that layout right now because we've got a 9-minute interview. James Wright ran camera for me. James Regier. I did it again. I have called you James Wright so many times.
Well, that's not an insult.
No, it's not. But the fact is we've got a great 9-minute interview coming up in the January What's Neat video at Model Road Hobbyist Magazine. And you know what? It's going to be really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, the boxcar I brought is the one that Nick Molo donated for charity. I think I'm going to auction mine off for Alzheimer's research. But anyway, this is either a Fruit Growers Express or General American Express car company reefer, and I've weathered it to, I guess, maybe late 80s standards. So I modeled 1979, so it was hard for me to weather a car from 1979 to look rusty and everything. So I've got a few more things I want to do to it. I'll probably have it done next weekend for you to auction
That looks
off.
well done so far. I mean, man, that looks like it's been taking the weather and...
Yeah, I've got a few more things I want to do.
I originally saw that when you pulled it out of the box after he gave it to you, and I mean, it was a beautiful model then, and it just looks amazing now.
Right.
Well, thanks.
Now, Jeff Meyer also has a freight car to weather from the same company, Moloko. And I've got one too. I don't know where it's at. It's on the layout somewhere, and I haven't touched it. So rock and roll. I'll get on that project and make it look good using my Rat-a-tat oil paint weathering that I learned from you, Mike.
Right.
And,
I see we're going to have a little auction war. Which one of you can...
I always lose.
We always do.
It's okay.
Hey, I got to finish this truck here. That's really not much of a conversion. It's just an Atlas Ford cab on an RPS bucket truck, River Point Station bucket truck.
I love those, yeah.
That's
All I did was swap
beautiful.
the cabs out to backdate it a little bit, and then made it look like a Bell telephone truck that was in my era. So,
Really
All right.
cool. All right, Brian Blandford. He is our bartender up at Frankie G's. That's where we go as soon as we're done shooting this show to go get wings and whatever else you guys love, but I love those trashed wings. But he came by this week because he wanted to pick up a train set to put around the tree. And when he was showing me the train sets on his cell phone, they were little $49 sets that ran by batteries on plastic track. And I kind of thought that would be something that wouldn't really do well for him or be a family heirloom. So I gave him this LGB set that we used to put around our tree upstairs. My wife wanted me to get rid of it. And I gave it to Brian for his wonderful son, Ari. Now, Brian's been working up at Frankie G's for 29 years.
Wow.
You talk
Oh.
about a man that has intimate knowledge of my neighborhood and who lives where. This guy's amazing, and we look forward to seeing you tonight. So
That's
rock
right.
and roll. I also want to talk about Michael Wood. Now, Michael Wood, he met me at the show out there at Trainfest, and he created these metal brackets. He owns a company that makes wrought iron fencing material and things like that. The guy's pretty good with working with metal, and he's got a laser cutter, a plasma cutter that cuts metal. So what he's created here is a holder that you can bracket onto your layout, and it holds the NCE power cab perfectly in place.
Well, that's pretty slick.
Yeah, that sure
Nice.
is.
I know Joshua wants one of these, so
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to give him. You can find these on eBay by typing in the words NCE metal bracket, and you will find these on eBay for $9. Not a bad deal. And I've also got video footage of Rick Dakota Kemp, otherwise known as Ducky, doing a demonstration on how well it fits with Michael Wood standing right next to him. So thank you, Michael, for showing this to us at the show. It's a really nice, simple thing that you came up with that everybody could use.
Yeah, definitely super cool.
He's also making one that's going to fit the smaller NCE throttles, these type of throttles. And the way he described it to me, the one that fits this throttle will also fit Digitrax and all of the other throttle companies for DCC that make ones that are kind of this size. So I wanted to make sure that I covered that on the show. Super nice that you reached out to me the way you did.
No,
So
it's
what
a
else
really,
do you
really
guys-
nice accessory.
What else you guys got? Anything else going on?
Well, I brought my trolley out here, the neighborhood trolley, and it's been on the show before. But this coming week is the release of the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood movie that's coming out. And this week my daughter and I were at Schaefer's Hobby here in St. Louis.
I like going there.
Yeah, and
great place.
we were looking around and we found a Bachman Plasticville Cape Cod house. Now, if you know the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, the show always opens up on an HO scale layout, 4x4, and Mr. Rogers' house is that Cape Cod house.
Oh, you
And
showed me that.
So
yes.
I got that, and so my daughter and I are going to be building that. That'll be a fun little project.
That is cool.
And-
Great.
And it's really neat too, like looking at that layout too. While I'm on the topic, just all the clever kit bashes they made from a relatively limited number of buildings that they were really skilled modelers, I think.
Yeah.
That
I
movie's
remember.
coming out, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it
it's
sure
coming
is,
out this
yeah.
next week. I think it's at the 22nd.
That's one I want to see.
Does anyone know who built that original layout?
James does.
Well, I know the original trolley was built by Paul, or not the original trolley, but the trolley 2, as he calls it, the HO scale trolley that was moving up and down the street from about 1982 onwards. That was Paul Lawley, and he was the director of Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. But the original layout itself, I would have to research the names of who all was involved in it. But it's been recreated several times, including for this recent movie. That they
Right.
actually recreated
Wow.
the entire layout. They didn't use the one that's in the Fred Rogers Center in Pittsburgh. They used a whole new layout for the film.
That's
yeah, I
amazing.
was watching that with my kids when they were growing up. And
Yeah,
I
I
wondering
mean, that
how
was an
many-
everyday thing for me
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
a child.
How many other
so-
model railroad guys were out there identifying all those houses and the vehicles
Right.
and the people, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that was
Tom Hanks is a model railroader, and he
Yeah.
he's the one that plays Mr. Rogers. So I look forward to that performance.
Oh, I did not know that about Tom Hanks.
Now
Yes.
we don't have Campbell Rice with us tonight because he is just like Mike went through just a couple of weeks ago. His wonderful son Ben just got married, so we'd like to show you this photograph and welcome announcing Ben and Sarah Rice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
guys.
How about that? Also, what else do we have? Talking about the show, I want to give a special shout out to Scotty Hicks. He was a gentleman that came up to me at Trainfest and said that I've been working sound for like 24 or 28 years, and I want to help you guys with your sound. So he set up that system that you sent me with. He was out in the audience giving me thumbs ups, thumbs down, 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger for every guest that got behind a microphone. It was amazing because I tried to keep up with him as I tried to keep up with the interviews.
He did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Also, Bob Olson, thank you very much for running camera number 1 for us. You did a fantastic job. Every manufacturer that was able to show off their product on last week's show, you got right in tight. You gave great shots of all the Bachman stuff, all of the Broadway Limited stuff. I mean, just go through the list. You did a fantastic job. He also ran cameras for us when we were out at Spring Creek out in Deshler, Nebraska.
Yeah, I remember.
So he's very good at doing that for us. Thank you very much. Another clip I want to show of the show, and we're going to show some of the clips of the background. Here's Bob Gallegos. You remember Bob? He works for Wathers, and he's sitting here running the 7.5-inch gauge. Is it 7? It's 7-inch gauge, I think. 1.5-inch scale models, and he's running this train with all these people on it.
Know he was
So
there.
when's construction for this?
That was pretty heavy.
Front yard.
Oh, I would definitely would fit in my front yard. It would be great. But they did a fantastic job. Nobody got hurt. All the families, all the kids had a great time riding this train around the room of the show. I mean, how does it get any better than that? It was really neat to see that out there. Other stuff we've got on the table tonight. Campbell Rice went up to Renault's up in Chicago. Renault's, you guys remember Ray Plashewski. We had him on a show recently, and he was talking about these trees that were made in Poland by hand by women that are very good at making trees. So I took the trees that he brought back from Chicago with him. He brought this beautiful pine tree. I shot this outside in real sunlight so that we could see the beautiful detail that this tree has got. And he also brought a deciduous tree. Both of these trees on the marking of the box are called summertime trees, and every single leaf was represented on this deciduous tree.
They did a tremendous job with these trees, and the thing I guarantee you for you folks at home, what you're seeing right now is not doing them justice.
Oh, right.
Because,
Right.
I saw the video.
Oh, my photos weren't bad.
When we were talking, I'm sure Ken's photos are great. But when we were talking with Ray, like we saw the video, and I was impressed on the video. I saw him in person, and I was like, it's a whole new level.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
I'm looking at him here. It's like they are sitting in little pots of water, that they're actually little trees growing on the
Bonsai.
desk. Yeah, bonsai trees,
But,
yeah.
That's really cool.
You know, most of us are happy enough to just get a tree that looks like a tree, but they make like poplar and, spruce and all these, they make specific breeds.
Right, yeah. We were going through so many different breeds that I thought we were on the Monty Python's identifying trees from a distance. The larch.
They all have wire armatures. It appears that they're just amazing.
They
If you guys
are.
want to check these out, you can go to the Renault's website. It is REYNAULDS. I got it right here on the bottom of the screen. Renaults.com. Rock and roll. We love you, Ray. What else do you got on the table? And to talk about tonight, we've got Exact Rail. Exact Rail sent us their latest offering, both in N scale and HO scale. I also took these outside and photographed them. We have an HO scale, the GNTX Thrall 3564 gondola. That's TTX. And I've also got a Norfolk and Southern 3564 gondola in HO scale. Beautiful models, shot them both outside. Also, Union Pacific in N scale. This is a 3564 gondola. And GNTX Thrall gondola in N scale. That's a 3564 gondola. These are all 3564s. And I even shot photographs with both of them side by side so you could do a comparison of the HO and the N scale models. Thank you very much, Exact Rail, for sharing your latest art with us. These are really cool. If you go onto their website, they've got a kind of a funny video. I'm not going to screen capture it, but I'm going to tell you what it is. They took one of their HO scale gondolas, and they actually took a magnetic crane and dropped real steel on top of it to show the abuse that the real ones go through. It was kind of one of those funny videos, more like a shock video.
Sure, yeah.
But somehow the metal all missed the freight car, and the freight car did not get crushed. So,
Well, thank goodness. The interesting thing about these freight cars, Josh and I were picking them up earlier. They are nice and heavy. I mean, they
Right.
are among the
Even
heavier
empty,
gondolas that
yeah.
I've handled, like empty.
Right.
So these should roll in your train without any problem. That they won't.
Yeah,
that
they
won't
are very,
be
very
lifting up.
nice.
Nice interior detail too.
Yeah, and all that underbody detail. I mean, these things are detailed out to the max.
For Athearn tonight, I'd like to give a shout out and congratulations to Athearn Trains for winning the Best Freight Cars of the Year award. That was given out by James Wright on his website on YouTube. There was a lot of people that voted, and the trophy is absolutely beautiful. We showed it on the last show, and it's gorgeous. We've got one of our own little trophies up here for having the best video show on the internet with regards to model railroading. So thank you very much, James Wright, for what you do for us. You give us the spark that makes us keep on keeping on.
That's
it just
right.
makes us feel happy. It gives us a reason to keep on doing what we're doing, because this is the best hobby in the world. I say it over and over without trying to be corny. One other thing I've got on the table here, you've always seen us sharing our ValueTrainsUSA.com boxcars. I just talked to them this week. They are coming out with a brand new freight car just in time for Christmas, a completely different paint scheme, and something really special for our What's Neat This Week podcast. And you know what? When I was at Trainfest, there was a young man that was out there. He wore the What's Neat This Week shirt, and he also had his boxcar in his bag. And all he wanted was a selfie, and it was so amazing.
Yeah.
So many people, the gratitude that they have for what we're trying to do, just to simply share the hobby with you. That's all we're doing, guys. And people were gracious. We had selfies, we had handshakes, we had a lot of compliments. I'll tell you what, it's 99.9% good, and of course, once in a while, there's that apple in the basket that we just disregard. And with that's everything on my list, guys. Anything else for you guys to talk about as we come into 19 minutes and 47 seconds?
I'd like to tell everyone that if they want their own What's Neat This Week shirt or a Mike Budde hoodie or a mug or stickers, please visit our website, what'sneatthisweek.com. And you can also get us on Facebook, What's Neat This Week.
That's right.
And Instagram, What's Neat This Week. Check us out on any of those medias, and we'll have links to all that good stuff there.
Good. I got one more thing to add to that, and that is Denny Jelsma from Jelsma Graphics. He's a stitcher. I mean, he told me that some of the jackets take 9 hours to stitch because the work is that detailed, but he's creating some What's Neat This Week jackets with the big Missouri Pacific logo. That's that logo that we use for our show on the back of the jacket, and on the front it's going to say, "I've seen What's Neat, have you?" So I personally am looking forward to getting one of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Can
gonna
I
be
get my
kinda
name
fun.
on one?
I was thinking that'd be really cool in the pocket.
Yeah.
Let's get a hold of them this week and see what else we could do. I'd also like to have a YouTube logo on there, because this is what it's all about. It's about promoting the hobby, showing everybody every single week what's new in the industry, who the great people are that run our industry, and otherwise it's your show. You can get on our Facebook page and submit any of the material that you'd like to, from your very own home layouts or some of the work that you've done, and we'd be happy to share it. This is just our way to share the hobby with everybody that loves it and enjoys it. There's no other motive other than just to have fun, because this is the best hobby in the world. So with that, guys, we're going to rock out and end this show, number 96, the What's Neat This Week show. Let's go run some trains.
See you guys later.
All right.
Thank you.